Your business idea is going to fail. Not because you lack intelligence, not because you don't work hard, but because you're building it on assumptions that haven't been challenged, on fantasies you haven't dared to test, and on a market that simply doesn't care. The harsh, uncomfortable truth is that the market is brutal, and it doesn't care how passionate you are. It doesn't reward dreams, vision boards, or clever branding. It rewards one thing: solving a real, painful, urgent problem that people are already trying to fix, with or without you. The most dangerous place to build a business is inside your own head. You've been obsessed with your idea, thinking if you just build it well enough, people will come. But they won't, because people don't buy products. They buy outcomes. They buy relief. They buy certainty. And right now, all you have is a prototype for a solution to a problem no one is screaming about. Let me guess. You've shown your idea to friends, and they said, "That's cool." Maybe someone told you, "I'd totally use that." But no one has paid you. No one has begged you for access. No one has followed up without you chasing them. Because you're not solving a bleeding problem. You're solving a theoretical inconvenience. And that's not how businesses grow. The first reason your idea will fail is because it's not rooted in pain. Real startups begin where real suffering lives. If your customer isn't losing sleep over the issue you're targeting, they're not going to pay to fix it. And if you haven't talked to at least 50 people about their real-life experience with this problem, you're just making it up as you go. The second reason? You're not selling. You're hiding behind perfectionism, behind product development, behind branding exercises. You think if you just launch it right, everything will click. But that's not how this works. You need to be selling before the product exists. You need to be in conversations every day, hearing rejections, objections, questions. If you haven't been told no 100 times, you don't have feedback. You have delusion. Startups don't die because of bad code. They die because the founder waited too long to sell. Money is feedback. If no money is flowing in, the market is telling you the truth you're avoiding. The longer you avoid selling, the more likely your idea is to fail silently, with no warning and no chance to recover. Third, and this is the one that blindsides most people, you think differentiation is enough. You think being different means you'll stand out. But different doesn't mean valuable. Different doesn't mean needed. You can be wildly unique and still completely irrelevant. The only difference that matters is whether you solve a problem in a way that's faster, cheaper, or more trusted than anyone else. Everything else is noise. And in today's market, where attention spans are microscopic and competition is relentless, clarity wins. Simplicity wins. If people can't describe your value in one sentence, you lose. If your messaging makes them think, you've already lost them. You need to be the aspirin to their headache, not the vitamin they forget to take. Fourth, you're mistaking activity for progress. You're building, designing, tweaking, brainstorming, but none of it moves the needle, because the only metric that matters in the early stage is learning. If you're not testing hypotheses, invalidating assumptions, and adjusting course based on real reactions from real people, then you're spinning in circles. Startups that survive are not the ones with the best ideas. They're the ones with the fastest learning cycles. The founders who live through the early stage chaos are the ones who are obsessed with customer feedback, relentless about testing, and absolutely ruthless about killing things that don't work, even if they were proud of them. Ego is the enemy of execution. Fifth, and this one hides in plain sight, you're building something you wouldn't even pay for. Be honest. Would you pay full price for your own product? Would you use it every day? Would you recommend it without hesitation? If the answer is no, or even maybe, then how can you expect strangers to do what you won't? One of the most powerful filters you can apply is asking, if I were my own customer, would I care? If you wouldn't spend your time or money on what you're building, stop, now. Sixth, you're avoiding friction. You want the path of least resistance, the easy yes, the safe zone. But all growth lives outside your comfort. The uncomfortable conversations, the brutal customer feedback, the public rejections. Those are signals you're getting closer to reality. If your idea hasn't been laughed at, torn apart, or questioned by people who don't owe you kindness, then it hasn't been pressure tested. And pressure is what makes startups sharp. Seventh, you're glorifying the build. You think product is king. You're obsessed with UI, features, automation, but customers don't care about features. They care about outcomes. They want their life to be easier, better, faster. And that comes from clarity, not code. The best founders sell the vision before the product exists. The product is just the fulfillment. If you're not already testing demand, you're not building a business, you're building a sandbox. And finally, the most hidden reason your idea is failing. You're not the person who can execute it yet. Your idea isn't flawed, but your mindset is. You're still looking for validation instead of truth. You're chasing perfection instead of momentum. You're afraid of judgment, so you stay quiet. You're addicted to planning, so you avoid action. You're trying to look smart instead of getting results. And that version of you, the polite, polished, presentation-ready version, isn't going to build anything that lasts. What builds companies is the raw version of you. The builder, the asker, the closer, the learner, the one who's too busy in the mud to care about looking clean. So now what? You get real. You face every one of these truths head on. You reevaluate your idea not based on what you hope, but on what you've proven. You talk to 100 people before writing another line of code. You make your first sale before writing your pitch deck. You challenge your own logic harder than any investor ever could. You test until it hurts. You kill what doesn't work. You strip your idea down to its bones until all that's left is what actually solves something. That's when you're building a business. That's when you're dangerous. That's when you're real. Until then, you're just pretending, and pretending, in business, always ends in failure.